we get that the influencer sphere it's created its own niche. However, is that really sustainable, or is that just something that's just it's gonna fade over time? Like,
no.
Tell me something about your current journey as a student in the marketing realm, about what you don't like and why.
I feel like that's easy to answer, to be honest. Well,
Ariana Grande, yay or nay?
Oh my god, I actually have a weird obsession. I had a weird obsession with her. I've met her mom, I've met her brother.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh? What's up, everybody? Walter Hooper of Marketing Minds Meet, owner of WA Hooper Marketing, and we are back with another installation of Marketing Minds Meet. We have a great episode here today and a great installation of the program. We have an individual that is actually an intern over here with one of the fellow not co-working space members, and this is an individual that decided to take an internship with Savvy Advertising Solutions. But this is an individual I've seen around and just chatted with here and there when they're not, hitting the pavement with their internship. And without further ado, for the first time ever on a podcast and program, is Brooke Hoover. What's up?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Quite the introduction. I love it.
Hey, I try to keep all my guests, give them the proper due diligence. So
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited. It is my first podcast.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
All right. So tell me. Normally, this is the part where I say, "Well, tell me about you and your company." But you're a student.
Not quite.
Yeah. So you're a student.
Yes.
Where are you studying currently, and what are you studying?
Currently, I go to Temple University. It's in Philadelphia, but I'm from Grosse Pointe, so I moved out to the East Coast, and I love it out there. It's very nice, very fun. I'm a marketing major. I went into school just knowing that I want to do something business realm. I was thinking it would be economics, and then I instantly was like, no, we're not going to do that. So I've ventured over to take the marketing path, and I've been loving it so far.
What made you want to go into voluntarily? What made you want to go into this industry in this field?
Well, I think I'm a very social person, and I love working with people, and the business school that I'm in is called Fox School of Business, and it's very collaborative. There's a lot of opportunities to work within groups of people for clubs and just all sorts of activities. And so I got myself involved within that, and that kind of shifted my direction that I wanted to take, getting involved within marketing associations.
Okay. So what type of marketing are you, because marketing is such a vast genre. Mm-hmm. I playing music. I do a lot of music analogies here in comparison. So, what subgenre of marketing fascinates you the most?
I think taking a look at kind of a good amount of aspects of it. There's obviously the creative aspect and the research aspect, and I think it's kind of not an expectation, but stereotype that girls will often want to do the creative aspect of stuff and want to be the ones creating websites or designing stuff or taking care of the social media, making everything look pretty and nice. But I've honestly kind of realized that that's not something that I love to do. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just probably because I like seeing things. I like being a part of the back end, researching, doing things like that over being more creative. But I have done both within school and within the clubs that I like participating in, and I do both, but I would more so like to focus on the research end of things.
Okay. All right. So research, maybe analytics, data, that type of almost, dare I even say, SEO type stuff. Yeah, which I mean that is just as if not more important than, I call that So like the social media, even like stuff like this, videography, like all of that is like front of house.
Right, yeah.
You know, so that's like what people see right away. But the stuff that you're referring to, that's back of house, or that's like the backstage crew.
Yeah.
Like you can have a solid band, you can have a solid lineup and things ready to go, but if you don't have a crew, a solid crew that's gonna help literally amplify you, then yeah, you're SOL.
Yeah.
So what year are you right now in school?
I just finished my sophomore year, so I'm about to be a junior. So yeah, so it's kind
What
of like
time.
everything starts picking up. So I'm happy that I have the opportunity to have an internship this summer, because a lot of my friends don't. They're still just kind of like working jobs, which me too. I still babysit while I'm doing this. But next summer is where I will definitely be trying to venture out of Michigan and try to take an internship somewhere else just to get like more experience.
Okay, so you're looking to go outside of...
Which I already am at school, so...
Yeah.
Might stay in Philly, I don't know. We will see. I'm already paying rent in Philly, so...
Well, those were the days.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so to segue now into current day, present day. Well, we are talking about current, present day, but to talk about the current endeavor you're in, your internship with Savvy, how did you get linked up with Tabitha and Katie and the crew?
I have been looking for internships since probably the winter because I knew it was something that I wanted to do just to get experience. But I was looking at stuff in Philly. I was looking at stuff here, but since am only about to be a junior right now, it kind of limits the opportunities for me because a lot of internships are just more so focused for like rising seniors because they ultimately want to end up hiring these interns. So I was just looking at some things and I had applied to some places, but a lot of the stuff around Michigan is all like automotive based and things like that. And that's not something that I'm very much interested in. So it was kind of hard for me trying to like find something or for me to be enthusiastic about joining a company if it was like something that I wasn't really interested in. But I kind of ultimately ended up giving up and I was like, whatever. I don't really need an internship like this summer. I'll just look for a job in Grosse Pointe because like I knew I was going to be here for the summer. And I was looking up just like cause I was ultimately wanting to serve at a restaurant. And I looked up like because I knew about like the Chamber of Commerce, like the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce, which was like funny. And I looked into that and I was seeing that like some people were like trying to like hire like people like with office, like kind of office jobs. Like, I was expecting it to just be like restaurants, retail. But like one of the last advertisements was for an advertising intern at Savvy. And it was like all this, I was just like email, and whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I emailed them and then they ended up getting back to me. And then I instantly had like an interview, but I was still in Philly at that point. So it was like over Zoom, but it all fell into place and it ended up working out. So
what does Tabitha have you doing over now with Savvy? What are some of your tasks and daily routines?
Honestly, I feel like it's kind of like a more rare experience being here because it's like a smaller group of people where I'm like involved in a lot of things. Like instead of just doing like small little tasks that are like semi-meaningless, I feel like I actually do like contribute a lot to the projects that we're doing, like the clients, because it really just is me, Katie, and Tabitha like doing most of the work. So I've learned a lot, like with everything, talking to clients, being able to like create estimates, invoices, how to like pay for like doing like almost, I feel like I'm doing everything that Katie's doing as well, which is like really cool because I'm like learning a whole lot and it's things that I never thought that I'd be doing.
Would you say so far is one of the most important things you've learned since you've been interning?
I think that I can see and just like hear how important it is to like build like customer relationships, just to continue like the relationship, especially in a business like this where you want to have good relations so you can like keep having them buy your products and like they can trust you and then ultimately like dish you off to one of their friends or something like that, because it's just like a business that keeps growing. And I kind of feel like that applies for everywhere, but this is the first like business that I've worked for. So it's cool to see that that's like really true, like how important that is. And I feel like Tabitha is a great like role model to see her do that, because she's just like very friendly, very fun, knows a lot of people, like, so it's good for me to see and like get used to.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, having a role model, having someone like Tabitha to kind of base your kind of like that path that you're gonna go down, like, yes, like it's very important to have good relations with business relations and all that. I'm a firm believer of like I never want to burn a bridge. It's happened. Right. It's very seldom does that happen, but it's because it's that whole thing. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and you don't know who that person might be connected to. That could end up being like an opportunity for you as a professional. So you're kind of doing like a bunch of tasks here, yes. and you're contributing to the puzzle that is Savvy Advertising Solutions. So far, now let's get into the marketing aspect, like a little bit more of the marketing, because it is Marketing Minds Meet. Right now, so I wanted to have you on. It was going to be between you or the other intern, but you were in first. I wanted to kind of go get some insight on. So when I was in school, which is years ago, you were like probably a kid, like a little kid. So in my time at university, Snapchat was not around, TikTok was not around. The big ones were Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah. Like that was it, really. Right. So now, where do you see, living in the current era of digital marketing, where do you see the platforms of the marketing industry going? Do you see it going more down the social media route? Do you see people getting away from the old school, I call it old school, paper marketing, so like door-to-door advertisements? Do you see more businesses and companies investing their marketing dollars towards a digital round? Do you think they're going to keep some of the old school techniques? Like what's your take on all that now that you are studying, in the middle of studying all that?
I think it's kind of interesting because it is definitely something that's very prominent going on right now. And from what I can see, like versus like my classes that I'm taking, like compared to the clubs that I'm in where we're actually like helping clients and like companies improve their branding, I think it's funny that it's still not, at least the classes that I've taken so far, they're not talking a whole bunch about digital marketing, and it's more so just like the fundamentals, like the basics. But I do think that it's very important because I'm learning that what businesses really care about, especially right now, because they don't really know how to help themselves in the sense. So they're coming to college students trying to get them to increase their social media presence or improve their websites or things like that. So I think that it is very important for like students now to be learning and understanding how to do that, because ultimately that is what they expect of like our generation, is to know how to do this, how to make them look better and all sorts of things like that. But I think also being a girl who is constantly just like being marketed all the time, like through every platform with like influencers and things like that, I do think that that is one of the most but like honestly the most successful sort of like marketing businessy aspect, because I've just seen it firsthand with like all of my friends and things like that.
Okay, so you just mentioned one of the dirty words in my influencers. Now, see that is that's a slippery slope, because so I've talked to other professionals in the industry that I've connected with over the years, and we're all kind of on the same page. Like, we get that the influencer sphere it's created its own niche. However, is that really is that really sustainable, or is that
No.
just something that's just gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna fade over time? Like,
No. And I think that that's a big, like, the influencers know that it's not sustainable, and they've talked about, like, I'll see that all the time, and people like, because that's the first question is like, you quit your 9 to 5 and you're just doing content, and it's like, well, how long do you see this lasting? Because it's like the Vine stars that we like know, whatever, it's like, what are they doing now? And there's like maybe 3 of them you could still say you might know what they're up to, but I think that they're like aware of that. But I do think that it is insane how much money people can make, like, per post, per Snapchat, per TikTok. It's crazy.
yeah, but I mean that's like a life just dedicated just to
Yeah.
being in front of a
Right.
camera, and I mean, take it from someone
I
that
know. Like, here we are.
but here's the key difference is that I know most of the times the camera can't be on all the time.
Yeah.
And like there's someone that I know that actually was going out with someone who wanted to be an influencer, and they said it was one of the most miserable experiences that they've ever.
Well, yeah, because if you associate yourself with somebody like that, you are put in the limelight just as well.
Yeah, and it's like this person like doesn't really want that, doesn't
Right,
like that.
yeah.
Like there's like they believe in privacy.
Right.
So when you don't have that, and then you have this person like, hey guys, like I'm
Right.
here, like, and we're just, it's just like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
like I can't. So
And it is, I feel like, more so a culture shock for maybe like generation above me, because I think it's funny because me growing up, and I mean, I babysit kids, like, since YouTube is so prevalent, like, within my era of time, me as well as probably any person, like any girl, especially my age, could attest to the fact that you're growing up and you're fake making YouTube videos, you're fake recording yourself doing stuff because you grow up watching these people do it. And I mean, that was like 2011 time period of like influencers, like then it would just be a YouTuber. But I feel like my era is so much more comfortable in front of the camera, and like that is so normal. It's like you go out and buy something and you're immediately posting to your Snapchat like, oh, haul, look at my haul.
yeah,
Whatever.
yep.
But then if you, like, people could feel more awkward, like, just like my sister who was like 6 years older than me would feel like more awkward in front of the camera versus me and myself and my friends. So I think it's just gonna, there's the comfortability of it, it's just gonna like be more and more and more and more.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, what was the year of birth for you?
2004.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's see, 2004. So at that point, I would have been a freshman in high school. And so you mentioned YouTube, and later we're gonna go on and live stream on there. So it all comes full circle. See, at that point in time, it was interesting because I remember like kind of the first iteration of YouTube.
Right.
It was very like there was nothing like it, and nothing will ever, I think, replicate that,
Right.
because that was a time where, you didn't really know like what to kind of expect. You were like, that first iteration of those viral videos is like, it's timeless, because these are just people that were just dicking around and
Right.
just having fun. Like they didn't know, like they were just like, this seems funny enough, and I'll post it on the internet. If someone likes it, great.
Right.
If not, whatever. And like that to me was the beauty of that era and time of YouTube. And nowadays, I mean, because you saw, like, I was watching a podcast,
Right.
I watch a lot of comedy podcasts. And now it's like sponsors and the YouTube monetization. Now it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing.
It is
so
crazy.
it is crazy. So now now it's an interesting insight too, like how you mentioned that businesses can't seem to have a hard time being able to kind of market themselves, so now we're going to go into the next generation of Web 3. So like metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, decentralized platforms of the internet. Yes, even cryptocurrency. Where do you see, again, being in the field and being a a newer generation of marketing, where do you see the future for Web3? Do you see businesses getting into that realm? Do you see businesses seeing the value of creating a presence in that realm of virtual reality, augmented reality? I'm sure you know that Apple just had, the beginning of the year, they released their Apple Vision glasses.
Yeah.
So do you see where do you see the place for Web3 with commercial marketing?
I think that obviously there's never going to be, and I think this might be not true later down the line, but as of right now, it's like nothing will ever replace just like actually like face-to-face, everything like that. But I do think that humans are naturally like curious beings, and things like that do kind of like raise an eyebrow, and especially being like the younger generation, like Gen Z, like I feel like every little gadget and gizmo like everybody wants to do, and I think that that is very cool. But I do think that at some point that will kind of slow down. But I do think right now that it is definitely picking up and in full force. So I do think that it's very important for companies and businesses to venture out into that realm, just because that's the realm that naturally people are going to go towards. So for their best interest, it's probably something that they should definitely get involved in.
Yeah, and I think we kind of hit a peak of being able to browse the web privately without the influence of cookies or the influence of just unnecessary advertisements. Like I mean, it's that old saying where, you know, we talk about a certain product, the devices will hear it and they will cater, and it's like that's kind of it's kind of weird, it's bizarre, you know, crazy. But but I think people are kind of wanting to go back again to that early 2000s era of online browsing, but with a current modern feel to it. Yeah. So like I got friends that still invest in various cryptocurrencies, and like it's lucrative for them. Yeah, like it's still a thing, and I think that's another aspect too of like I think that's it's not going to happen right away, but I think that there's going to be a time where it will. Right. Where it, I mean, you will hear people talking more about, oh, hey, like, you know, I'll give you this Bitcoin for that. I'll give you this token for that. Like,
it's just so funny.
So, all right, now we typically go down what I call, because I'm a Star Wars guy, we typically go down the dark side. So now we're going to enter a portion where, you know, I ask some questions that maybe aren't necessarily asked, but should be. So one of the first questions I have for you for the dark side of the journey, tell me something about what you're currently studying right now. Tell me something about your current journey as a student in the marketing realm, about what you don't like and why.
I feel like that's easy to answer, to be honest. Well, I think that marketing can kind of be thrown into the same category as many other things, like major-wise. So like public relations, even like sales. I'm trying to think of like there's like multiple different aspects of when I'm just looking for a job or looking for an internship that they'll kind of label it the same, and advertising, of course. They're kind of labeled the same thing. So then all of these jobs will have like all of these candidates for it, because it's a ton of different people that feel like they fit the realm or they fit the criteria. So then it makes the job pool a lot harder to like enter, and just makes the experience like a lot harder for getting a job, since there are so many qualified people. So that is like a fear of mine that I've had with school, especially from just seeing how it was like trying to find an internship, like just an internship, like paid, unpaid, like anything. Because it honestly is, it's very saturated. And so that's something that is a little bit more scary. So that was probably a fear of mine.
Well, I think too, I think now more than ever, because because of these.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. I feel like everyone, to a certain degree, thinks that they're a marketer, that they can do certain things, and it's like, all right. So I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from others that I have connected with over the years that went into marketing as a major. And I love your insight on this too, because you being in it now, I found that 8 to 9 times out of 10, so not a full 100, but a good chunk of the ones that go into the field as a major, I find that they haven't. They can spew out what they were taught. They can spew out the knowledge that they've learned from their professors or what have you. But when you really gotta like push the bar a little, raise the bar a little higher, they can't do it because, well, that's not what I was taught. That's not what I know. And in order for me, and what I've noticed, like with dealing with people that have gone into that field, but also just went into it not without the degree, I find that it's like they were never really taught and told that, hey, it's okay to really be creative. It's okay to express your creative freedoms. That's what this field is for. And do you find that to be the case with some of the other students that you're associating with? Do you find them like kind of like they reach a certain point and it's like, nope, I can't, like, nope?
I think that I have like a great opportunity in the business school that I'm in with like this club. It's a part of the American Marketing Association, but mine specifically is Temple University American Marketing Association. And I have like a lot of good like mentor people to look up to within that, because it's a big group of people that I'm a part of this group called Cherry Consulting, because like Cherry is something to do with Temple, but it's just a group of student consultants, and they reach out to all these businesses in Philadelphia, and they kind of like meet with them, decide who wants to be involved, and then they get to know what they want ultimately, and they show us all these businesses, present them, and like whatever you're interested in, you may be a part of, and then for the semester you work towards their goals as for the company. And so that's something where I've saying that I noticed that like a lot of companies don't know how to improve their branding or to market for themselves. And it's funny because it's like you're a business owner and you don't even know how to do this, and yet you're asking me, who I'm a sophomore in college, and ultimately we get it done and they are satisfied with it. We're like making content calendars and all sorts of different things to help grow their business. So it's a cool experience. And I think that like being a part of the people that are a part of that group, like that club that I'm in, versus the people that are just students, it's drastically different, because you're not going to learn anything from a textbook that you like better than you're going to learn from actually doing something. And like that kind of ties into what you're saying about like you really don't need a marketing degree to be able to do, you don't really need any sort of degree to be able to do this sort of thing, because it really is the connections, the people, and it's interesting.
So you heard it here first. She said you don't need a degree.
You don't need a degree.
Even though that's what
I'm doing. But
Well, and I asked that. I raised that point because it's been so to the point of being infuriating, where someone is so staunch in their way of, no, this is how I know, this is how it's done because that's what I was taught. It's like bull fucking shit. Yeah. like no, like there's kind of a creepy phrase, but it's like there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
Like, so. Like, I didn't go to school for marketing. I went to school for journalism. Do you want to know how much of my journalism degree I use now?
Right.
Like, maybe like one small aspect of it. That's it. The only aspect really, I guess you could say, of journalism was just, being on top of like what's currently up to date. Yeah. And it's like in this field, you absolutely have to be that way. Like, you gotta like at least kind of have an understanding of and just know and just kind of observe.
Right.
It's not just like what the statistics tell you. It's, again, like you mentioned, being out there in the real world, working in it, and being like, oh, okay, this is what it's really like.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, a lot of times, it's not very glamorous. You know what I mean? Like, so, one of my final dark side questions I have for you. Are you familiar with blues music at all?
No.
Okay. I'll give a condensed version because the people have heard this so many times. Skip over this part. So there was a guitar player back in the Depression era, late 20s, going into the Depression era. His name was Robert Johnson, and he was still is considered one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And he had a song that he wrote called Crossroads, and it's about how he met this individual at a crossroads in the Mississippi Delta, because that's where he's from. And one thing led to another, and he became this prodigy. So one night the lore is with this story is that he meets this individual at the crossroads, and they offer to tune his guitar for him. He wasn't very good at that point. He was okay. Like, he wasn't what he ended up being. And he goes, sure, why? Okay. And they go, okay, great. So they tuned it for him, and they said, now you're gonna be the greatest guitar player that ever lived. and they said, okay, but just so you know, there is a price that has to be settled for that, but you'll find that out when that time comes. So fast forward, he has an amazing career. He gets known all over the South and what have you. And one night he's at a juke joint. He goes to order a drink, takes a sip of his drink, and he feels a little odd, and then he keels over right there. Huh. So the lore is that the individual that tuned his guitar actually ended up being Satan himself. So now the question I have for you, Brooke, is...
Really curious how this ties into anything.
So let's say you had a chance encounter with the devil himself, and the devil said, Brooke, I know, you're still a student right now, but you know what? I can set up a career path for you in this field, in this industry of marketing, based on what your preferences are, what you're doing. And you know what? I can make you one of the most successful marketers in the entire world. You would have clients from all over wanting to work with you. They would want to have, whether it's your brands, your designs, whatever you choose to do, it will be world renowned. The only thing is that it does come at a cost, and it could be at the expense of yourself, loved ones, family, friend, but you would be all set for life. You would have no monetary worries. Your living would be top tier, top notch. You'd be set. What do? You take it?
I think that the first answer is no, because there's just so many questions as to, like, what does that even mean? But again, I feel like that's sort of something where it's like it's given to you, and I feel like I wouldn't feel as accomplished as if I would feel doing it myself. And I do think that like I was saying from the beginning, that it's important to nurture relationships with people in your life. So I think that if I were to sacrifice people around me to build myself up, I feel like that would kind of almost be like an oxymoron a little bit. But obviously, being in the world that we live in, hearing that you would be like stable monetarily is it sounds nice, but I do think that it'd be a lot more fulfilling to try to accomplish something myself.
And what's interesting is the last person that was on here said the exact same thing. They said, they would rather be the ones to have worked for it and been able to look back at that success and say, that was something that I was able to do on my own. Mm-hmm. And yeah, okay. That's a good one. That's a solid answer. Really, there's no wrong answer. I mean, if you were to say yes, I'd be like, okay.
I feel like it probably also helped that you explained that my death would be me drinking a drink at the bar and falling over.
Well, not necessarily. Not even just that. It could be whatever. But all right. Well, congratulations. You made it out of the dark side portion.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna do some live streaming here, right. And this will be the last portion of the program. So here we go.
Nice.
All right, what's up, everybody? Walter Hooper, host of Marketing Minds Meet, and we are back again for another live stream portion here at the Knot co-working space in Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, and it is a sunny, humid, very hot 90-degree day. It's going to be like that for the rest of this week. So what I'm trying to say is stay cool, if you can, stay indoors, or whatever the case may be. Just don't get heat stroke. That would not be good. But I am sitting here today with a first timer guest on the program, and this isn't any ordinary guest. Well, all of my guests are extraordinary, but this is an individual that is currently an intern right now with Savvy Advertising Solutions. They are going to school in Pennsylvania, but they are back home here in the Mitten for the summer for this internship. And once again, they are working with Savvy Advertising Solutions, and I'm here chatting with the one and only Brooke Hoover. What's up?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So we just got done with the dark side portion of the program, so be on the lookout for that once the full episode comes out. But so we made it out of the dark side. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And so now we're gonna end this on a lighter note, like we always do. So first question I have for you is, well, actually, first and foremost, why don't you tell everybody what you're studying right now, where you're studying, all that good stuff.
Alrighty. My name is Brooke Hoover. I go to Temple University in Philadelphia. Go Owls. But I graduated.
Awesome. Actually, real quickly, those are my favorite bird, by the way.
Really? Then look at that. Me too, apparently. But I'm from Grosse Pointe. I went to high school here, and I came back home for the summer to ultimately find an internship working with some people locally. And it worked out in my favor, and now I'm working for Savvy Advertising Solutions.
All right, and what are some of the tasks that you are doing with and for Savvy?
Well, when I first started, which was about like a month ago or so, they were doing a project for the Detroit Zoo, which is something that's a very big company here and something that everybody does growing up. So that was very cool to start, and seeing how big of a thing they're doing for such like a well-known organization. So that's something that I honestly was still working towards / helping them do things for, and literally one of my coworkers is doing stuff upstairs for them as we speak. But we do all sorts of things, and we find promotional products for people, whether it's for like picnics or certain outings, or just for them to like certain swag for them to have. So it's like cool products with their logo on it, or something that they might need for whatever the case may be, and we find it for them, we present it to them, and then we ultimately find vendors who will do the embroidery, doing the screen printing, and basically making the client's wishes come true and come to light. So yeah, it's very exciting.
That's a very positive way of putting it.
I honestly love it, because one of the things why I got into marketing was because I wanted to be able to do something that I could like see at the forefront, like see my work come to light. Because I feel like when you just think of, very simply, when you're young, like think of marketing, you think of like billboards or things like that. And it's kind of what I'm seeing here with Savvy, is like I'm seeing my work come to light. Like we're creating these things and they're coming in the mail, and we're seeing these. It's very cool, honestly. And we're seeing how excited and happy the clients are with it. So it's fulfilling. Yeah.
I mean, it can be a very fulfilling career. Yeah. It's a lot of work, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is a lot of work and
stress.
yeah, that is part of it too. Like I was like I was saying to Brooke earlier, like you voluntarily went into this. So
I really had no idea what I was doing, so I had no idea what was to expect. But it's been good.
Well, that's good. That's good. So when you're not interning and you're not being the good student that you are, what are some of your favorite hobbies and activities you enjoy doing in your downtime?
Well, like I've mentioned before we started live streaming, I have been babysitting for almost all of my life, and so when I'm not here, I'm leaving here at 4 o'clock to go babysit, or I'm babysitting during the day. So that's another like work thing that I do. But one of my hobbies is I love to thrift, which is like very random and whatever, but honestly, it's something that I love to do. And almost this sweater I got from the thrift store, but I have very like a unique like type of clothing, like and like sort of like wardrobe, just because I've been like curating it for myself. And I've inspired like a lot of my friends to get into thrifting, and more recently I've started like selling my clothes that I thrift online. And it's funny because I've realizing like how many people want the things that I find, because it really is kind of like it's just like you're picking a needle out of a haystack going to the thrift store, how big it is, like whatever, because you could go there and you find like a stained sweatshirt or just a goofy t-shirt, but if you like really dive deep into things, you're finding clothes of people that could have been iconic individuals who have ultimately like passed away or just want to give it's cool like stories behind people's clothes. You kind of like can tell the type of person through their clothes, and it's cool now that I'm like starting to sell stuff, because I'm selling stuff to people like all over the place. And like literally today I'm going to the post office and selling something that I've got from the thrift store.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's cool. So I'm trying to make some money doing that too. But.
All right. Where do you typically like to thrift at? Like, what are some of your go-to spots?
I think that I should gatekeep where I thrift, but I haven't, so I have to just keep letting it out there. But the best place to thrift in this area is this place called Community Thrift, and it's on Gratiot, like just past like AMC. That's the best place. I wish that we had like Goodwill bins here, and that's like a big thing elsewhere, but Michigan doesn't have bins. There's like, I think the closest are like in Ohio. But bigger places are always the best, and like Salvation Army like runs deals on like Thursdays with like for like students, or all sorts like discounts. So there's always good places to get like the most bang for your buck, but the best place to go is Community Thrift on Gratiot. They have
whenever I go into the Salvation Army just to like check it out, like it's like it always
smells weird. It's
yeah. It's like
yeah.
If you have like asthma or like breathing issues, like don't
not
go
your
in.
place.
No, don't go in there.
Everything's coated with like an inch layer of dust.
Yeah, and it's just like this kind of sucks.
Right, but I have learned to love it. I love it so much because it's just like so cool to me, like searching for my clothes. Like I have totally lost my interest in like going to Somerset, going to the mall, because it's
so expensive.
Well, that too. I'm like, I can leave with and they give it to me in a garbage bag full of all my stuff, and it's like $90 versus me going to the mall and I could barely get a pair of pants for $90. So it is crazy, and it's honestly a good thing for me to enjoy, because it ultimately started because my parents were like, we're not buying your clothes anymore, like in like high school, and I was like, okay, well, let me figure this out. And I ultimately figured it out, and now because I'm buying a shirt for $3 and I'm selling the shirt for $20, so it's like the profit is very high, and I think I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, that's
Why
cool.
not?
That's cool. I mean, I usually will go to so spoiler. If I want new, I'll go to like H&M, because like I like their stuff. Like they're
good.
But a lot of times I'll go to like Plato's Closet.
Yeah.
Because like especially for like work, even like some work stuff, like. So for those of you that have seen me all like my Ralph Lauren or even this shirt, like this is Plato's, like, and it's like a fraction of the cost of like what, because this shirt right here, if I were to buy this brand, this would be like $30. Like,
right. No,
fuck out of here. No. For
one shirt.
Yeah. So it's like I totally get it. I see the value in it, and
cool.
that is interesting though. How you mentioned like it's like, you know, with every piece of clothing that you get, like this could have some sort of like story or like.
And sometimes you find out that because you can find things, people will either like write stuff on the tags, or there'll be a tag attached to something, or if you buy like like I've bought countless purses from the thrift store, things can be like inside of the purse that they like forget to take out, or I've seen people buy cameras from the thrift store that still have SD cards in them, and then suddenly you're entering a whole world of people's like life, or like
be
film
careful
cameras, right? But it's always wholesome. It's always wholesome, hopefully.
Okay.
But it's cool to see, and like also like everywhere that I've really traveled, I've always like kind of like making a note to go to the thrift stores, because different neighborhoods, different like honestly classes, like wealth, you're finding different things. So it's cool. Like some cool stuff that I got was from a thrift store in Kanab, Utah, because I was like telling me, I'm like, we have to go to the thrift store. Yeah. Because it's just cool to like see the different types of things that you would be seeing like on the west side versus the east side versus the Midwest. Like it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. So talking about thrifting and all that, I went to California. Oh, was it 2012, 2013? I went to San Francisco with one of my bandmates. We were staying at one of his friends' places, and I remember we went to what was that?
Buffalo Exchange?
No, the neighborhood. It's like a famous neighborhood.
Calabasas?
No.
In San Francisco.
Yeah. It'll come to me. So we go into this area and we happen to walk into, we just happen to find this thrift shop, and one of my favorite shirts ever. It was a yellow T-shirt, and it has a print of a bear on it in sunglasses and swim trunks, and it's holding a drink. And on the bottom, the caption says BANFF, Banff.
Yeah.
And it's
Canada.
in Canada.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. Mm-hmm. So I'm traveling from Michigan.
Right.
I'm on the West Coast, and I find a Canadian shirt. I'm like, what are the odds? And then I just bought it just on because it fits perfectly.
Right.
It's just and I could tell this was a shirt that was easily from like probably like the early to mid 80s. So those 80s shirts just have a certain feel,
and that's why people love it.
Yep.
And that's why I love it. I literally love all of that stuff, and I'm now trying to like sell all of it because I'm obsessed with thrifting. So I buy so much shit that I'm like, I need to get rid of this stuff. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So no, but the T-shirt thing is that's how I think I started thrifting, was buying the big T-shirts. Like you just go to the thrift store, go to the men's section of the T-shirts, and for me now it's like what takes like, because if you go to the thrift store and try to look at everything, it's gonna take you forever, which I do, and it takes me forever. But I've kind of narrowed down to like the feel. Like you can kind of just like tell the feel of the shirt when it's good, and if you're just flipping through and it's like, this is good. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've noticed too. So being a child of the 90s, like the 90s is back. Like it is. It's weird.
Everything that I post, your hashtag 90s, hashtag like Y2K, hashtag
like,
whatever. Yeah,
it's like you weren't even born in the 90s.
And everybody wants this stuff.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's a compliment to the 90s.
Listen, it was a great time. I can attest to it. I mean, I lived it. And it's crazy like how like a friend of mine was even saying to me how like it seems like every new era, like every decade, like whatever was cool 20 years ago will come back. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit. Like the 90s is like, that's,
I know, it's crazy.
It's insane. So now, God, what's next? The Y2K era.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the whole like TLC, Destiny Child, like Paris Hilton, Britney Spears, that look of like the low-rise jeans and the tight shirt and like the corset and the like sparkly tops and like embellished like everything.
That's gonna come back, huh?
It's already coming back, and that's the type of stuff that I'm selling all of the time, because you go to the thrift store and everyone's getting rid of that shit because they don't want it. Because it's like,
Right.
that was so long ago. But then it's like, you don't even realize that you just gave up some shirt that you could sell online for $60 because
Right. It's a renaissance
popular
era.
brands are recreating that. But it's like, you're never going to get it how it was original. And if it's in good condition, it's like crazy. Giving it to the Salvation Army, it's like, you're a good person, but wow. You don't even know what you have.
Yeah, and see, I should have known. I should have seen the writing on the wall for like the 90s coming back when I first started noticing plaid was becoming more prevalent again. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't hate
clueless.
it. I liked it. See, I've been more of like you can't tell the day because I'm whatever because it's fucking hot. But normally, I'm like a black pants, black shirt, and then like if it's a little cooler, like I'll wear like a my leather jacket.
Yeah,
like just a very like.
Yeah, I think now for my generation, since it's so, you can get a shirt shipped to your house overnight if you're getting it from Amazon. People, like the rise of like Shein and like things like that, where everything is so cheap and whatever, and you can just very trendy. You can buy a shirt for like $3 that's extremely trendy, and then you're throwing it out. Like it's very quick. Like I think it's also why I started like to love thrifting, because it's like a unique sense of style that is you can't really like replicate as well, versus like the whole trendiness. And honestly, it's saving me money, so it's kind of a win-win situation.
Right now, the baggier style clothing.
Yes.
See, I'm a guy that likes things a little bit more tailored.
Yeah. Fair.
Coming from a younger demographic, a generation after me, because you were born in 04, so that makes you a Gen Zer. Coming from a Gen Z, what is it about the baggy clothing? Why is that so?
I mean, I think that's sort of kind of also an older thing that's coming back. It's like you take a look at like Soulja Boy. Like, big pants, like whatever. But no, I like it because it's, especially I think in a generation of time where everyone is completely being looked at, nitpick, comparison to everybody through social media, through everything. Might as well throw on a big t-shirt and some big pants so people can't really judge you that much. And I think another big person that kind of helped move that along the line is Billie Eilish. She's like pop star or whatever.
Great.
Right, great. Love her. But she was somebody that she's like probably a year or two older than me, but got into the industry like young, very exposed, like peak of being just completely in the eye of everything. And she hid her body, hid herself, put on this persona of kind of like giving like tomboyish or whatever, because she's wearing like huge t-shirts, huge pants, whatever. But that kind of created a style of like people that follow her, which is a lot of people, because she's extremely famous and probably on like Billboard. She's probably like top number 3 songs currently, and it's probably been like that since like 2018. But having people that are very influential dressing a certain way like that, and she ultimately came out and was saying that she was doing that in order to like cover her body, and then it was a huge deal when paparazzi caught her like swimming or something like that, and taking a look at her body, and then she just completely got exploited. And it's like, that's what I've been hiding this whole time, because it's crazy how much they attack you for that. So I think that the rise of baggy things is beneficial, at least to like young woman, because
because there's this thing called body shaming,
right?
It's still a thing, people.
Yes, and
like
sexualization.
It's still a thing. Like, unfortunately, it'll never go away.
Right? Yeah, no.
So and here's the other thing. Like, I'm 35 years old, so like I don't care. Like,
right?
I
but
am
it's
who
totally
I
up to,
am.
right?
Yeah.
But it's good that there's like an option that is like brought to the forefront of like, it's okay to hide yourself if that's what you want, or whatever, or show yourself off if that's what you want to do. So I think it's good to have a balance of people that are at the limelight doing this and doing that, and because it feels like you can really do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Just do what you want. I don't care. You live your life.
You're still gonna be successful. Billie Eilish is wearing big pants and big shirt and is very successful.
Yeah, and she's just extremely talented.
Right,
so
exactly.
I remember first hearing well, obviously everybody remembers Bad Guy, but like
Yeah.
hearing some of her other tracks where
Oh,
she
yeah.
wasn't that, I was like, yeah, she's really got something
Yeah.
like, really cool.
Yeah. it's
Now, are
crazy.
you on the Sabrina Carpenter train?
Honestly, I would originally say no, just because I'm loyal to Nickelodeon and she was a Disney star. But no, I listened to one of her albums. I can't remember the name of it, but I think she might only have like 1 or 2 albums out. But it was starting in the beginning of the Espresso song starting. And obviously everyone's like, the song is so annoying because it's just like everywhere. But honestly, I like that song.
So catchy.
I know. I'm like, I like that song.
So catchy.
But I listened to her album and it's very good, and she is very talented. And that's I think that's kind of the thing where people kind of like make some fun of pop stars, but it's like ultimately at the end of the day, it's like you give a microphone to Adele, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, any of these people. They have good voices, and then you look at people who, which is also, it's a little controversial, like rap stars, people like that, or like there's a lot of like auto-tune and things like that. It's like different levels of talent, but it's like these people are really good singers. Like they're not famous for no reason,
right?
So
I think to even jump to like T Swift, like so like I remember when she first dropped and she was country, and then now like she's not even like now the only Taylor Swift I will ever give the time of day is 1989. Like that record is and I'm talking from not even just a pop but just a production point of view, like just the way it was the original one, not this Taylor's version bullshit.
It's just the nostalgia of the old woman. Respect her doing the Taylor version stuff, but the nostalgia of the older ones for sure.
And it's, but like that's like, so marketing, like she's a brand at this point, like she's a full brand now. One person I will say, so you mentioned like, you know, people like poke fun at pop stars, like look, I'm a sucker for a great pop song, a great pop album, a great pop artist.
How could you not?
Right. So like couple of ones that really kind of piqued my interest in the lately have been Dua Lipa's one of them.
Oh, love her.
She's phenomenal.
She's also just extremely beautiful.
She is. I mean, she is very pretty. Now this next one is an individual that I am just happy she's like rocking out and like bringing back like that kind of like that grungy raw Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh yeah, she's super good. And it's funny because Olivia Rodrigo is literally like my age. She's so young. And who was the first person you said?
Dua Lipa.
Oh yeah, both of them are, which is funny because those are both two people that old people, because they whatever will be like, you look like Olivia Rodrigo, you look like Dua Lipa. It's like, I just have black hair, but thank you. Like, I will take it, like sure. But no, both of them for sure. And Olivia Rodrigo like really just hit the nail on the head with her coming out with her music. That was like very much like love song, sad, whatever, like. And at the time of year that she did it, it was like breakup season of everything. And it's like, that came out when I think I was a junior in high school. And it's like driver's license drops and you're like, wait, that's me. I literally just got my driver's license. And then it's like suddenly you're obsessed with Olivia Rodrigo and whatever. But it makes you a little reminisce on like their young love and everything. Yeah.
Now, granted, driver's license is not my favorite song of hers.
Oh, well, no, but that was just her like.
But that was her, was her like huge drop. Then Guts, that whole Sour album that is so good, really good. And then Guts is check Guts out if you have it. So oh man, now Ariana Grande, yay or nay? Oh my god, I actually have a weird obsession. I had a weird obsession with her. I've met her mom, I've met her brother. Wait, what? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. I had a very, very, very huge Ariana Grande obsession. And that was a phase of my life. But that was when I was in like 5th grade. I had a fan account, all of it. Wow. Yeah. So, but I love her, obviously, whatever. My loyalty lies within her. But I don't really pay attention to her as much anymore as I used to. It was a phase. Yeah. Well, she's done some interesting things. Yeah, no, people will see. I don't even really whatever, because I'm like, I have such an idea of her in my head that I'm like, I can't let it just get tainted. I'm just gonna let it do your thing. I don't want to be involved. But she just is like now involved with, because she was first like on Broadway and then found herself on Victorious, found herself on the Pop, found her whatever doing.
every little thing, and now she's in like starring in Wicked, like the
Yep.
movie, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt she can literally do anything. So.
Yeah. I mean, again, an amazing, probably one of the
Yeah.
best voices
Oh my
of modern
God,
day
yeah.
music.
And just like the rarity of her coming from Broadway. It's like she was 13 years old on the musical 13, which is like on Broadway.
Yeah. What?
With Liz Gillies, who is the person that was in Victorious, which
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. 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 Because my brother watched Victorious.
Right, yeah. Same.
So, yeah. And then I discovered, well, I knew her because like my brother watched Victorious. So
Yeah.
I would hear, Cat Valentine all the
Right.
time. But then again, YouTube, which is what we're on right now,
Right.
people. So these algorithms are going to be real interesting once we're done here. I happened to stumble upon a video of her covering a Mariah Carey song, Emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that is a song that you don't touch it. Like,
Right.
just don't touch it unless, like, if you're going to do that, then you are going to do it properly. Like, you are
Right.
not, there's no room for error. So I'm like, is that Victorious chick? Like,
Yeah,
she's
right?
she's
Like,
gonna
wait,
sing
what?
Mariah Carey? Like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I click on it, and then, like, immediately I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, like, towards the end, when she really hits those higher,
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna go for it? Because that
can do
like
it.
makes the song. Like,
Yeah.
that's like a big part of that song, why it's such a massive hit. And when she did it, I immediately, I think I remember I audibly went, oh fuck.
Right, yeah.
Like,
one of her, like, big things is, like, her whistle tone, and she can, like, literally make it sound like she's whistling, but she's just singing that high, and it sounds like a bird, and she sounds like it's actually crazy.
I know.
But I've seen her in real, like, I've seen her. I went to her first ever concert in Michigan, and then I think her second album is the one where I met her. But it was crazy because the first place actually was the Royal Like Music Theater, which is small. And that was her first album, like Yours Truly, whatever. And then she made it to Little Caesars Arena. It might have still been Joe Louis. I think it was still Joe Louis at the time. But
rest in peace.
right, yeah. But she immediately jumped within one album from that to that. And you can just tell by Stadium how bigger of a deal she became within that small period of time. But it was very impressive. She's a very good singer. That's what I'm saying, that you can't underestimate the pop stars, even though. And they're having to behave well because they're put in the limelight with kids, with adults, everything, and they're performers. Like you're saying, like bringing up like Dua Lipa, like she's a great dancer, like she's very into style, like, and you set the trend, like they ultimately set the trends, and like Dua Lipa has done that, Ariana Grande has done that, like Sabrina Carpenter is doing that right now with like her makeup, her big hair, everything. It's like because they ultimately are the face of everything, pop culture wise, which is really cool.
But the other kind of downside though of that is like pop stars, they come and go.
Right.
You know, it's not like
Yeah.
you know that's kind of the trade-off with that genre.
Yeah, and it's also the whole effect of like cancel culture, which is
okay.
a
All
bad
right.
thing.
All
but
right.
that too, which is like ultimately Sabrina Carpenter. What with the whole Olivia Rodrigo thing, it was like Olivia Rodrigo dating this guy Joshua Bassett, whatever. They break up. Joshua Bassett ends up dating Sabrina Carpenter, and then that's why Olivia Rodrigo wrote that whole album. Olivia Rodrigo got famous. It's like shading Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter enters the music era, gets in the booth, and then ends up saying like, "This isn't true," whatever. Makes a song about it. Then people are like, "No, Sabrina Carpenter." Olivia Rodrigo's fame like dies down a little bit. In comes Sabrina Carpenter, and now she's huge, and Olivia Rodrigo still is huge because people love her.
Yes.
But it's funny that it's the two of them, and this boy that they were fighting over is who?
Right. That's right. See,
Good for them.
Men always find a way to screw things up. That's
Right.
I think that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but if I had to pick one over I'm picking Olivia all day,
Fair,
every day.
fair,
Just
fair.
very,
She's super cute. Yeah.
Well, and she just again, it's the genre. She's bringing back. She's
Yeah.
really brought back that kind of old school '90s grunge,
And-
garage bandish era.
She really has the power to do so.
Yeah, and
She
she's
kinda
using it
could
wisely.
choose, yeah.
And she's using it to her
Whatever she wants to
advantage.
do.
Well, I gotta say, I have had I've had a really nice time really connecting with you, chatting with you. I know we passed by each other in the hall and said hi and all that. I know you've been doing your thing, I've been doing my thing. So to be able to actually like sit down and kind of gather some insights from you and about your time with Savvy and your internship, your schooling. I think good things are going to be on the rise for you. So,
thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity coming here and connecting with you as well.
All right. Before we log off, how can if people have questions about all things Savvy Advertising? Do they have is there a website? Is there a phone number, email? How can people reach out to inquire about all of their branding, marketing needs for with Savvy?
Well, we're basically everywhere. If Facebook is your thing, we're on Facebook. But honestly, the best way to reach any of us would be through email, and we're constantly checking it.
Perfect. And I know I've referred over a couple of people your way. So
sweet.
And I know they've been very happy with the products. So you guys are doing something. Right. But Brooke, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know you've got a lot of projects to work on, so I appreciate the time to chat and take a little break from the upstairs office life. So
of course, I appreciate it.
So yeah, this has been another installment of Marketing Minds Meet. A little bit longer live session, but we were just talking all things. We were just talking all things, pop culture, music, all that good stuff. Like I said, I could talk about this all day. But
right, exactly.
But Brooke, thank you so much again, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and those that are going to tune in afterwards. I appreciate each and every one of you, and also please don't forget to follow and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, WA Hooper Marketing. That's where you're going to find all things Marketing Minds Meet, full episodes, clips, highlights, things of that nature, and really anything WA Hooper Marketing related. So thank you, everybody. Have a good one, everybody.